If you could please press your I and confirm button.
Ten are present, Your Honor.
And both Alderman Zima and Alderman Slotnick are excused. You good? All right, now if you could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we're blessed to be living in Green Bay, Wisconsin, a city of dedicated people who have faith in you and a faith in each other. We know that it is you who gives us what we have, and it is through you that we can exercise our talents and help lift the lives of those who call Green Bay home. While our Green Bay home at times faces challenges and tragedies, we pray tonight for our friends and fellow citizens, especially those suffering the horrific murders in Orlando, Florida this past week. We offer our prayers and compassion to all those families and the communities in Florida who are dealing with the loss of such innocent lives. Time will help heal some of the pain, but it's communities coming together in support of each other that will bring real healing. We're thankful for the many people who work in your way to help communities become better neighbors and better communities. Green Bay has lost a great community advocate with the passing of Miss Billy Kress. We pray for her family and friends, and we are grateful for all she has given to our community. As we enter the 4th of July holiday, celebrating with families and friends, we are mindful and grateful and proud to be one nation under God with liberty and justice for all. We ask for your continued blessings upon our military, especially those serving on the USS Green Bay. We ask this in your name. Amen. So with that, we'll move on to approval of the minutes of the May 17th meeting. There's a motion by Alderman Nicholson, and that was seconded by Alderman Tom DeWayne to approve the minutes of the May 17th meeting. Anything's here, corrections or deletions? See no lights, all in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and the minutes of the May 17th meeting have been approved. We're now on to approval of the agenda. So motion by Alderman Nicholson, and it was seconded by Alderman Tom DeWayne. Alderman DeWayne, did you have something?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. Thank you. I'd like to move up resolutions 12, 13, and 14 right after announcements, please.
We'll do that right after public hearings. How's that? Right after public hearings. So we have a motion and a second to move up, and our bond counsel is here, and we'll make a statement on that. But that is, he can get back on the road and save us a little money. So we have a motion and a second to move up resolutions 12, 13, and 14. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. Anything else? We'll take a motion to adopt as amended. There's a motion by Alderman Randy Scandal, second by Alderman Mark Stoyer to adopt the motion as amended. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. The agenda has been adopted.
Report by the mayor.
Just three things tonight. First and foremost, and thank you for most of you reaching out. I want to welcome Celestine Jeffries as the new chief of staff here in the city of Green Bay. My top pick, someone who has sat in these seats, understands neighborhoods, worked for the chamber, understands the schools, understands the connections we have to do here, and is a very hard worker, and I'm just so delighted that she accepted the job here. As you know, Andy has listened to me for 12 years, long for the private sector. He had a great opportunity back in Minneapolis, St. Paul, with a family-owned business, and I really think he's going to do well there. I'm so happy for him. I mean, it's going to be great. So really good news with Andy and Crystal moving back to the Twin Cities, and equally as good news with Celestine Jeffries joining the city of Green Bay. So thank you and welcome. Glad you're here. Just two other things. The council approved, and we've been acting on a health plan. It's called Health 1265, and 1265 is the address of Lambeau Field. That's how we came up with the name. But at the end of the day, it's to get 1,265 points, and that helps reduce your health care costs. And there's a lot of ways you can get points, and there's a whole packet on it. And Lynn Bolin and her team have worked very hard. But one of the things we're doing is we're walking at noon every Tuesday at City Hall. And I don't know, do you get 25 points for that? I should know. Yeah, you get 25 points and it goes to your steps. But just today at noon, I think we had 70 people join us. People from City Hall, we had some of you aldermen there, people from the Wildlife Sanctuary. And it's every Tuesday between now and the end of September. So if you come, give you a little shout out. You're going to meet some downtown businesses. Every week we have a celebrity walker. Today it was Mike Reed. He actually brought an owl with him, which was a little weird, but it was great. What was it? A hawk. Next Tuesday is the chief of police. We're going to have a Golden Apple teacher. We're going to have an Eagle Scout, Girl Scout. So we just look for celebrities to come and walk, but it's more important that we just get out and get exercise. So I just invite you and Alderman Nenning and Scannell, thank you for being there every Tuesday. I think people have told me they appreciate that. So I invite all of you. I know some of you are working, but if you can get over here every Tuesday at noon. And last thing is this Friday. This Friday is a big day. In the city of Green Bay, we celebrate Kids Day, and it's after we've finished Mother's Day, Father's Day. Green Bay has chosen. And I can't believe it was Dan Haves who really supported this. That was 14 years ago. But we celebrate Kids Day, and every kid in Green Bay gets a green wristband, and they get free access to our aquatic centers. They get free rides at Bay Beach, free transit on the buses, free movies at Marcus Theater East, free bowling at Riviera. Just a lot of free things. There's a whole brochure, free fishing on the city deck, and then at noon we have a free lunch with the mayor. And that is supported by the school district. And we'll get about 2,000 kids who will come to that. And if you're there, I will recognize you, talk about your district and how important the older person role is. And that's at 11:30 at Light Park this Friday. So I invite you to come to that. And, of course, Friday night is our first kickoff for Fridays on the Fox. And it's dueling pianos, and that's probably the best act that we get down there. It's paid for by Associated Bank, and it's a good time for the community to get out, get downtown, get to see each other, and then kick off the summer. So that is this Friday. That will conclude my report.
We're on to announcements.
I'll start with Alderperson Dorff.
Thank you. As of today, this has been my second full month of being an alderperson, and I really would like to publicly thank the employees of City Hall, the administration, legal, the fire department, the police department, all of the departments. They have been so helpful to me, so helpful to my constituents. They're a group of the hardest working and most knowledgeable people I've ever met. So I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you so much for making my first 2 months so successful.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. We'll go to Alderman Mark Stoyer.
Thank you, Your Honor. This Saturday, from 4 o'clock till 8 o'clock, or about 9 o'clock, we're having a rededication of the wall at Atkinson Park.
Right.
It's been a long process, but the wall has gone up. Usually we try to tear down walls, but now we put up the wall. So, anyway, there's going to be free popcorn. There's going to be a movie. Not sure what it is. I think it's going to be like Finding Nemo. So, Randy, you'll probably like that a lot. And then there will also be ice cream, some free ice cream. So that'll be good, too. I'd also like to mirror what the mayor said about the tragedy down in Orlando. I really feel that our community needs to draw together. We need to get along. We need to love each other. There's no room for hate in this world. And let's strive to be the best community that we can be. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Joe Moore.
Thanks, Your Honor. Ayers and Associates, the engineering firm that's taking care of the Webster Avenue plan right now. They've been out working hard for quite a while now. You probably see paint and flags and lot lines sprayed all over out there. They're going to be reporting to the public for the first time Thursday at 5 p.m. at Nicolay Elementary School. This is really just kind of go over the scope of the project and the preliminary plan that they have laid out, and be an opportunity for us to give some feedback on it. Again, that's Thursday, 5 p.m. This is a big project. So I would encourage that council members come in and take a look at it and have a pretty good idea of what's going on. Thank
Great.
you.
Well, thank you. Alderman Andy Nicholson.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to bring up an article in the paper on May 29th of this year that the issue was about Mr. Scannell, the communication brought up by Mr. Scannell. The paper, I feel, misled the public. It stated that Mr. Scannell pointed a finger at an alderman. I just want to set the record straight. He assaulted 2 aldermen with his finger. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Alderman Tom Dwayne.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. Many times, us as aldermen, older persons, we rely on our public safety, fire department and Green Bay Police Department. As Captain, or Alderman Galvin, Captain Galvin knows, he was in my district, and I often went to him to ask direction, what shall I do? We all try to do things on our own. And as everybody knows, whether it's a fire call or a police call, they never know what's going to be there, what's going to happen when they're there. And I just want to give a shout out to Officer Van Arum, who was responding and doing a job that an alderman had asked him to, and I believe was being and all that. And his expertise and his professionalism really did something to stop, and instead of creating something that could have escalated, he took control and really set things straight, fast, easy, and very professionally. A lot of people don't understand why our officers are there. They don't, when he's trying to talk to them, they might not understand what he's saying. But the way he did it, and it was all on tape. We've all seen it. But I got to tell you, this ain't the first time. And I give so much respect to what they go on. You never know what they're going to pull out of a car. And when you have that many people shouting at you and following around, what he did that day was nothing but spectacular.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Dave Nenny.
Thank you, Your Honor. I had a notice I wanted to share with the council that at 9 a.m. on June 29th, there will be a ceremony at Brisk Park in Alderman Moore's district to celebrate the 44th anniversary of the dedication of that park. That park was named after a former police captain who died at 48 years old. And there will be a ceremony there at 9 o'clock on June 29th, and I encourage people to attend if they can.
Got to ask Alderman, Brisk Park.
Oh, it's on Day Street, 820 Day Street in
Right.
Alderman Moore's district.
Right. By transit. Yep.
Oh, it's yours?
Got it.
Alderman Scannell.
But they'll both be there. They'll both be there. Alderman Dwayne, are you you're good? All right. Alderman Randy Scannell.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Brisk Park.
I appreciate our president making a shout out to the police, and I would like to make a shout out to our fire department. In particular, Lieutenants Jesse Link and Anthony Pointek, Engineer Tim Hattendorf, and firefighters, excuse me if I butcher any of these, Brent Tekuv, Jim Bourget, and Brock Plodurl. Was that close? They have earned the wings of life. Once again, someone on the brink was resuscitated, so kudos to our fire department. And then we are starting off our summer, so I would like to make 3 announcements there. Every Thursday for lunch from 11 to 1, you can have lunch with Marty the Moose at 1263 Main with various food trucks throughout the summer. And Associated Bank on Fridays on the Fox, 5 to 9. Starts kicking off this Friday. We're beginning with dueling pianos. And then also every Wednesday for lunch from 11 to 1, Nicolay Banks having their dine on the deck. So let's all eat.
All right. Sounds good. These are good events. Alderman Nenny, did you have? Okay, clerk, I don't see any other lights. All right.
We're on to public hearings. Public hearing regarding vacation of an unimproved roadway, Camel Court. Public hearing regarding vacation of a portion of Fred Street. And miscellaneous ordinance number 1-16, an ordinance adopting an amendment to the Smart Growth 2022 Comprehensive Plan of the City of Green Bay pertaining to property generally located along Lombardi Avenue to Thorndale Street between Southridge Road and Frank Street.
All right, is there anyone here in the public who would like to speak to any of these three items stated by the clerk? Sir, if you just want to step up and state your name and address and the specific item you'd like to comment on.
Cordry. I have a property at 1288 Thorndale. And with the development coming in, I just have concerns with the amount of traffic being vented out onto Thorndale.
Which one is that? I want to be clear on which item you're commenting on.
The Keene project, Lombardi Ridge Road.
The smart, okay, all right, go ahead, I'm sorry. Thank you.
We've been there for about 6 years. Real nice neighborhood. I understand about development, the tax base, so on and so forth. My big concern is, Thorndale and Frank is a nice neighborhood. And with this parking lot venting out, I think it's about 70 spots venting out on Thorndale, it's going to turn Thorndale into a racetrack. And everyone's going to be, instead of going out on Lombardi or Ridge, they're going to be venting out on Thorndale to get down to Oneida. So that's my main concern. We're at ground zero. We're right across from where the housing's going to be torn down. And I'm just asking for the council to give us a little attention as far as being put from a low density to a high density. It was a real nice residential area, and now it's actually going to be a high density area.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Anyone else want to comment on any of the three items under the public hearing? Is there anyone else wishing to be heard? All right, then we'll let the record show that the gentleman came forward and no other comments were taken at that time.
You may, under suspension of the rules, take up items 25, 26, and 35 with a roll call vote.
All right, so we have a motion by Alderman Scannell, and that was seconded by Alderman Stoyer to suspend the rules for that purpose. All in favor of suspension, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. Entertain a motion to adopt items 25, 26, and 35. Any discussion here? Alderman Weary?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My comments, I thank Mr. Cordry for coming. We've spoken quite a bit on the project. This is just a change to the comprehensive plan. Mr. Keene will be coming forward with his detailed plans, and believe me, the neighborhood's spoken. They don't want that driveway coming off on Thorndale, so that's something that will address that plan commission. I don't want it to seem like we're approving that tonight. That's still coming. Thanks.
All right. And Alderman Joe Moore?
Thanks, Your Honor. I think we've got it covered. I was going to address the same thing and just make sure that the city had that opportunity to control that traffic flow. So
And that
sounds
will
like
come
Alderman
back.
Weary's all over this. So
Right.
Thank you.
When the plan comes back. So with those two comments, if you'll use the board, this is items 25, 26, and 35. Okay, and those pass unanimously, and thank you.
So we're taking up the resolutions.
We'll take up those three.
Okay, we will now take up resolutions 12 through 14.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion to suspend the rules. We'll take up motion about.
to approve, Your Honor.
I think I'm going to suspend the rules so I can take those three, and then I'm going to ask to approve those three. So let's suspend the rules first. So there's a motion and a second to suspend the rules to take up resolutions 12, 13, and 14. All in favor of the suspension, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. Now, a motion to adopt. There's a motion by Alderman Tom DeWayne, second by Alderman Mark Stoyer to adopt resolutions 12, 13, and 14. In a nutshell, this is great news. We bonded last month. We sold the bonds this morning. We would like either John or Dawn to report on the rate that we got, and really surprisingly great rate. And either one of you, or okay.
I'll take it, Mayor. Thank
All
you.
right.
On your desk are the final documents for the bidding that went on this morning. We had very competitive bids. We issued 3 separate debt issues, one being 0.97%, the second being our tax-exempt debt within 2.57%, and a taxable piece of 2.61%, all within 1/10 of a basis point on the competition. So it was a very competitive sale. We were reconfirmed at a AA2 from Moody's, so it was a very good sale for us this morning.
Doesn't mean we have to borrow more, just means we got a hell of a rate. So, no. So there's a motion and a second to adopt these resolutions. If you'd please use the board, this is 12, 13, and 14. Yeah. Oh, Alderman
What
Nichols?
is our bond rating? I mean, only it's AAA. What
Is she
what is
just-
the city? I'm sorry. AA2. For improvement on that?
Yes.
What would that take to get that?
All right. Alderman Dwayne, I think you.
No, I'm not.
No, I don't see it.
I just abstained, forget it. I want to redo that. I didn't want to abstain.
Should clear it.
Clear it, please. There,
All right.
I apologize, everybody, I just hit the wrong button.
All right, so we're voting on 12, 13, 14.
Too much vacations, right?
All right, and those pass unanimously as well. All right,
We're on to presentations.
we have 2 presentations tonight. Cineviz is here. Cineviz, as you know, is a company on Main Street here in Green Bay, kind of in the technology video. He can explain more about what he all does, but they received an award that they're very proud of, and the reason they received the award is because of the efforts that they put into the marketing of our KI Convention Center. So Scott, who owns the company, and maybe you want to tell us a little bit about your company, and we can sure take the presentation of the award. So if you want to, let me get that going.
For those of you who might not be as familiar with us, Cineviz, we're an experiential design and technology company. We work throughout the country. We do visual communications for things like the KICC. We've just finished our 2nd or 3rd museum down in Indiana, which really encompasses a lot of different technologies and design. The award that we have here today for the City of Green Bay is an award that we won for the Green Bay Life video, which was part of the KICC package that we put together for the visual communications and the content we produced to promote Green Bay as people came into the city to learn more about who you are and what we are all about. So on behalf of Cineviz today, I want to present this National Telly Award to the City of Green Bay in gratitude of your trust in us and our commitment to the city.
All right, that's awesome,
Thank
Scott.
you.
The National Award. Yeah, that's very good.
Thank you.
Do we have the video?
Didn't get it in time. We didn't think we could play it.
Okay, all right, well, here, we will take, this is like a cool looking award. All right, yeah, we'll place this very proudly in our Green Bay room, but, I was at KI today, there's a couple events going on there, we're giving some welcomes, and when you look at those screens, it really captures who we are. You did an awesome job of everything from the downtown to our neighborhoods to the businesses we have, and, we're bringing hundreds of thousands of people into our city, and some of them haven't been here before. Now, there's a lot of state conventions, but that still doesn't mean they've all been to Green Bay, and I think people know a lot about those guys over on Lombardi Avenue, but when you watch those videos and see the faces of people and you look at some of the progress that you've captured, people can say, you know what, I'm going to stay for another day, or this is awesome, I may come back here and open up another branch office, or hopefully maybe even move here someday. So your marketing that you've done, I mean, you can't buy that stuff on TV. It's just something that conventioneers look at, and we've gotten very positive comments, and obviously if you're being recognized nationally, you did something right, and so did we. So thank you very much. All right, very good.
Celestine has told me that she will send out to all of you the link to the video so that you can see the videos. We actually did 2 of them.
All right. See, now Andy couldn't do that. Good. All right. That's good. All right, clerk. Is Leonard and Finko here? I'm going to move this to next month then. Leonard and Finko is the public relations company who is really doing the PR on the whole Fox River cleanup. And, of course, it was an EPA project. It's going to close in on close to $1 billion. And we're on the final stretch. And the final stretch is obviously right out in our backyard here. It's in front of the city deck. And that will be completed this year. And this has been a long time coming. I was on the county board when we first looked at this, and that was, I think, in '97. And I've asked them, they came in, did a little presentation to Steve Grenier and myself, and I'm like, this needs to be shared with the council. And I gave them the dates of the next council meeting. So I will call and make sure they come here. But, I mean, we're going to have a clean river, and then you get all the development going on and bridge lighting. It's just going to be a very cool place to live and to recreate. So I will have that on the agenda for either next month or the following meeting. All right, let's continue.
We're on to referrals of petitions and communications. On page 1 of your packet, you have all petitions and communications received by the clerk's office by noon on Thursday. We will now accept any late communications you may have.
Okay, we'll begin with Alderman Mark Stoyer.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is the finance to revisit the 1265 initiative. Thank you.
Alderman Tom Duane.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. This is on behalf of District 2 and 3, Annie Nicholson. On behalf of many constituents in District 2 and 3, we would like to see the stadium tax refund used for infrastructure, and that goes to finance. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Nicholson.
Thanks, Mayor. I have 2 late communications, I believe both to finance. The first one, review all development agreements that the city of Green Bay has entered in the last 10 years. And my second late communication is to review all finances / audits for each TIF for the last 10 years. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Alderman Joe Moore.
Thanks, Your Honor. I've got one for the Neighborhood Division and the RDA. To report to the RDA a schedule and plan on disposing of properties that were recently acquired from Brown County with the Neighborhood Enhancement Funding. And the second is for the Green Bay Police Department and the Economic Development Authority to consider and study the possibility of locating a new police department operations building at the northeast corner of Quincy and University Avenue near the transit station. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, Alderman Nicholson, did you have anything else? Alderman Stoyer? Alderman Duane? All right. All right, Chris, do you have any late communications?
No, I do not.
All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion, refer all petitions and communications by Alderman Scannell, seconded by Alderman Vanderleest. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and all petitions and communications have been referred to the proper authorities.
We're on to reports for council action. Report of the Park Committee.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Nicholson, seconded by Alderman Tom Dwayne, and that's to approve the report of the Park Committee for the meeting held on Wednesday, June 8th. Are there any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Hearing none, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. The report of the Park Committee has been approved.
Report of the Plan Commission.
Entertain a motion. All right, we have a motion by Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderman Bill Galvin, to approve the report of the Green Bay Plan Commission. That was for the meeting held on Monday, June 13th. Are there any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Number two. Okay, hearing none others, all in favor of the remainder of that report, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. All items have been approved with the exception of item 2. What are your wishes regarding item 2? There's a motion to approve by Alderman Joe Moore, seconded by Alderman Randy Scannell. Alderman Mark Stoyer, you pulled this.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to have the floor open. There's a few citizens that would like to speak on this matter.
All right, so there's a motion by Alderman Stoyer, seconded by Alderman Tom Dwayne, to open the floor to hear from interested parties. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. The floor is open. The council is now discussing the report of the Green Bay Plan Commission. There was a meeting held on Monday, June 13th. The second item on that report was to approve a conditional use permit, a CUP, to authorize a surface parking lot along the northeast corner of Kellogg Street and North Chestnut Avenue. Subject to 3 conditions. Is there anyone here who would like to speak to that? Go ahead. Okay, hang on. I want to get one comment from our city attorney before you speak. What am I doing here? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Because this is the subject of quasi-judicial hearing, the council cannot accept new testimony at this point without having it go through a hearing again. And so any remarks that are considered have to be limited exclusively to the advisability of actually moving forward this on a political level.
You got that? I'm sorry. Me either. Okay, go ahead. Say it again.
Because it's a quasi-judicial hearing, both sides have to have an equal opportunity to present evidence and defend evidence. So any evidence that's presented would have to be done during an actual hearing on this matter. It would either need to be referred back, or we would have to provide written notice and opportunity for the other party to show up and actually appear if you guys are intending on accepting additional evidence on this. The one exception would be if it is something related to your authority to legislate, as long as it's not evidence pertaining to whether or not the CUP should be granted or the conditions that are imposed, that's acceptable. But anything related to whether to the conditions imposed have to go through a hearing again.
So I'd have to speak at the
They could go to Plan Commission.
Plan Commission, I'm sorry.
So if you're looking, what I understood, if you're looking for changes or objections, it would need to go back to the Plan Commission.
Okay. I'm here on my own behalf.
Okay.
And I don't particularly support my name is Joshua Schwalbe. I live at 1216 Cherry Street, 54301. I'm not here to say that it's a good idea or a bad idea, but I wanted to bring attention to some alternatives to voting on this today that I've become aware of. So I don't really have a position on whether you should approve or not approve of it.
You just have some other things you'd like to see happen?
I believe that this is a good example that the council should be aware of for future developments in the downtown area.
Yeah, but we can hear that, right?
I'm sorry.
He wants to comment. He really is not this thing he could take or leave. He wants to talk about some other things that he'd like to see for future development. Did you say on that spot? I thought you said you're okay with this project. You're talking about future development of the city.
Well, it obviously has to do with this particular one, but I don't really have an opinion on whether this should be approved or not approved. I thought it was a good opportunity to bring up a part of the zoning code that the city council might use in further developments.
Make a suggestion,
Yeah.
Your Honor, and
Yeah.
have his alderman put a communication in for him.
At risk of being an interloper, I don't want to say
Pardon me?
anything that might stall the process, because I
Do you
think
mind
this
if
is
this,
a beautiful development.
if your alderman puts in a communication, you go to the plan commission, I think that's a little more proper to,
If we approve this, there's no communication put in. It'll have to be referred back.
He wants to give suggestions for the future for city projects.
No, for this area.
He's not talking about that.
Yes, I'm talking about.
okay, just wait, I think that's, I just said that. Do you want, is it Scott?
Joshua.
Joshua, did you want to talk about this site, the corner of Kellogg and Chestnut, or do you want to give us some advice on how we do future development of corner lots?
I would like to talk about this site.
And if he wants to talk about this, it has to get referred back?
It needs to go through a hearing process, either with the plan or here.
Does this get brought back again, Your Honor?
Yeah, it would if it went back.
Yeah, we don't, it's not what we do as, this has already been approved and everything, to hold up a project for suggestions, I don't know if that's proper.
Okay, just, we have a new city attorney, and I just want to be on the
Take your
same
time.
page. I don't get why this guy can't talk about this. We're not going to make any changes. If we don't make any changes, we can listen to him. If we make changes, we should send it back.
We can't know for sure
They have added changes on the floor before. The people come and testify, and you say, look, add one more condition to it. They've done that.
Many times.
I don't think they're going to do it.
as long as no action is taken to deprive.
All right, Joshua, you have the floor. I want to hear what you have to say. The council then is going to take this up. If the city attorney thinks we're deviating too much, we're not going to allow the change. If you want to listen to this and approve what's here or send it back, that's up to you, but we're going to listen to the testimony.
Thank you very much. I want to first and foremost say that I'm not approving or saying this is a bad idea, and I'm here on my own volition. As many of you already know me, I'm a huge bike and pedestrian advocate, and I'd like to talk about the minimum parking requirements for developments in town. I want to commend the city on reducing the minimum parking requirements for the downtown area by half. That's a great move. I think we can do a little better. On developments like this, I found a part of the zoning code that said up to 70% of the minimum of the parking can be shared with another use. I have done some research in the past about parking in the Broadway district, and I found that there is plenty of parking in the Broadway district, but it's single-use parking, and it's not shared. So many spots are left open during the day in one lot and at night in another lot. So moving forward with these developments, if parking becomes an issue, then I would like to say that the City Planning Office does a fantastic job. I would like to bring their attention that there is a section that says we can share the parking. So in lieu of not having a development happen or scaring off any potential developers that might not meet the minimum parking requirements because of spatial concerns like this, you know, where we're accommodating for a parking lot for these developments, there is a section that you could share some of the parking. I wanted to speak on it today because I feel very strongly about condensing things, making the city more dense and more walkable. And the more parking lots you put in and the more fences you put around the parking lots, the longer distances people have to walk and the less they'll walk around, which is not as healthy. So that was my main point that I wanted to make. I wanted to thank you for hearing me. I don't mean to be an interloper. I like the development. I like what you're doing downtown, and I wish you the best.
All right, thank you. Alderman Dwayne had a...
You're talking about city-owned property, right?
This lot is a city-owned property.
That's what I was asking, but you're not talking about private property lots. Because we can't make somebody else.
No,
As a council, do you have a private property owner share with anybody?
I believe that it's up to the planning department to work out the details of these, but in the zoning code, let's see, I have the section number. Section 13-1720 just has a provision for shared parking. So in the instance that a developer wants to develop, doesn't have the minimum parking requirements, instead of having them walk away or trying to reduce the size of their development, I believe that the shared parking might be the key to keeping downtown dense and in turn more walkable and healthy.
All right. Thank you for that.
Yes, Director Von Tuck.
Oh, we get it. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you.
All right, motion to return to regular order by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Galvin. All in favor of returning to regular order, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. On item 2, we have a motion and a second to approve item 2. Anything else? All right, Alderman Scannell.
Thank you, Your Honor. I want to thank Josh for his interest in this area. I was also very interested in what was happening here. I did a lot of talking today. I'm not a big fan of surface parking lots, but in this case, especially an area I view that will become very prime real estate. But it does move another project along right on Broadway, which is very important, and I'm very happy about that. And I think in a better circumstances, we could have had a happier outcome for this property, but I think right now I support this and we should go on with it. Thank you.
All right, again, we have a motion and a second to approve item 2. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. Item 2 has been approved.
Report of the Redevelopment Authority.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Joe Moore, seconded by Alderman Randy Scannell, to approve the report of the Green Bay Redevelopment Authority. That was for the meeting held on Tuesday, June 14th. Are there any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Number 2. Hearing none others, all in favor of the remainder of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. All items have been approved with the exception of item 2. And what are your wishes regarding item 2? Motion to approve by Alderman Moore, second by Alderman Scannell. Alderman Wery.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to make a motion to receive and place this on file, and then I have some comments.
Second for discussion.
All right, so we have a motion to receive and place this on file. You want to talk about it?
Yes, thank you. As I've said all along, I think I've been pretty respectful on this project, is I've complimented them and wished them well on their plans, except for the Olympic part. Over and over, I've said that over and over. So I want that to be made clear. I just want to take a comment from the owner, Mr. Bays. This is his own quote. If everybody's not on board, there's no way I'm going to do it. Why would I want to spend money and have a major losing thing when everybody's not on board with it? I think we've seen over and over people aren't on board with this. I think part of the reason is that he pulled out is he got a lot of public feedback from people who told him, hey, don't build this or we might stay elsewhere. And I got that feedback as well. So I think there were multiple reasons for him pulling out. It certainly wasn't because of me. I don't think I'm that powerful. Although, Mr. Mayor, there are some different quotes here, I think, from yourself regarding this. This is going to hurt for a lot of years because it's going to cost us millions of dollars. We may not get an Olympic-sized pool because of his childish antics. I think that was referring to me, perhaps. That was in the Press Gazette. Channel 2, this is going to hurt for a lot of years. Same quote. Fox 11, the private sector walked. They do that. They've got the money to do it. They don't need petty politics with someone as childish as Chris Weary. Interesting. Okay. Keeping in mind I've been nothing but complimentary. Then he went on further to say he's got a lot of personality quirks. Now it's reflecting on the city's future development. Not good. I assume speaking of me as well. So, Mr. Mayor, I'm going to ask for your apology on those.
No, you're not going to get it.
All right. Because you're speaking not only of me, but those of my district and everybody who's been in favor of Colburn Pool.
About you.
Would you care to explain why and what caused that? I've been nothing but complimentary of their project.
Well, that's not what Mr. Bays was telling me, so.
What was he telling you?
Just what I told you in those comments.
I've never spoken with Mr. Bays.
Yeah.
All right, so you're not going to apologize, just let that be noted. I mean, these comments, really, it's character assassination, Your Honor. It's uncalled for and despicable. We can disagree, but you don't have to attack someone and belittle them. I think you should be above that. I've gotten so much feedback on this, and it's actually not helped you. So I just think we need to receive it and place it on file. There's no reason to move forward with this. I was refereeing a soccer game at Arnie Wolf Sports Complex, and a bunch of kids and parents kept telling me, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. It's been overwhelming, so there's no reason to move ahead with this. Thanks.
Let me explain. This is an improper item. The council doesn't tell the RDA what to do and not to do. So this, when I saw this on here, it's like, this is interesting. What if they vote it down? And it was like, well, they can vote it down. The RDA is still going to have staff reach out to a private sector to see if we can come up with something that's better for the city.
All right, I'll change my motion. Is that all right, Alderman Dwayne?
Yes.
My motion would be to direct staff not to reach out to Tundra Lodge for a development agreement regarding an Olympic-sized pool.
Second for discussion.
So let me ask our attorney, the redevelopment authority has directed staff to reach out to look for, to pursue this potential opportunity. And then that, of course, would come back to the council if there was any action needed, TIF assistance or anything. And now they're saying to the Kevin or to his economic development or planning not to talk to the Tundra Lodge.
Mayor, the result of that having two conflicting directives would be that staff would be able to reach out, but only as representatives of RDA. They would not be able to make any contact as a representative of the city, meaning that the city's interest would be completely independent of what's going on with RDA.
Okay. All right. No, Alderman Moore, sorry.
Alderman Ware. Thanks, Your Honor. And so as a council representative on the RDA, and you were at the meeting, you know that I pulled this and asked Mr. Delvo to change his motion because this was my communication that I put in the first place. And I wanted to see it through. We've committed $4.5 million, $3.5 from the city and $1 million in private funding to Colburn Park. And I believe every penny of that needs to stay at Colburn Park and be spent at Colburn Park. I don't think a single penny of it should be pulled out for any other projects, and we've approved all that bonding. If that pays for an Olympic pool, then I think we need to put an Olympic pool in there. I should say an Olympic competitive pool, not just another pool the same size as an Olympic pool, but an actual competitive pool. The point of this had nothing to do with Colburn Park, and I understand that the original letter of intent had said if Colburn Park doesn't build an Olympic-sized pool. I don't think that needs to be a part of any development agreement. This, again, can be done completely separate. I do think that we have a responsibility just to reach out and make sure this is really a dead deal. There's a lot of aldermen here that would happily take Walmart back if Walmart came back and said they wanted to go down on Larson Green again. And when they left, they wrote a pretty nasty letter to the editor regarding the city. But I think that it would still garner a lot of support if they ever came back. I think that sometimes people shoot from the hip, and I think when the Tundra Lodge started getting some pressure, I think they just, backed off real quickly. And now that we've had a month to kind of stew on it a little bit, maybe this is something they still want to do. This is a regional attraction, a regional draw. They're going to do their leisure pool. They're going to do the cabanas. They're going to do this Vegas-style thing out there that's going to draw people from hundreds of miles away. If an Olympic-sized pool or even a 25-yard pool, another competitive pool is there, it only adds to the benefit. When you consider we have $7.33 is our mill rate on operational expenses in the city, and our debt service is $1.53. The more we bond, the more the debt service goes up. I think a use of TIF is okay here because we're actually going to be seeing a revenue coming back on a taxable entity. And that $7.33 operational mill rate, we have the opportunity to decrease that part without increasing the debt service. So reaching out to Tundra Lodge and just saying, hey, are you sure? I don't think it's that big of a deal. Now, if Tundra Lodge says we're not interested, then we can just walk away from it. If they say they are interested in it, we put a development agreement together, we bring it to the council, we bring it to the RDA. The development agreement's got to be approved on this floor regardless. And at that point, we can pick it apart and do what we want to do with it. I think that as a responsibility to the taxpayers, it's at least worth taking a look and just not accepting the first no as an answer. And that's the whole reason that we brought it forward, that I brought it forward, and I asked the RDA to approve it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to chime in on this? Okay, so the motion on the floor is to direct staff not to discuss potential, or represent the city discussing a potential of an Olympic-sized pool. Alderman Tom Dwayne?
Yeah, Your Honor. From what I understand, and Alderman Weary, I understand where you're coming from, but from what I see, the city, if this passes tonight, the city's not going to ask them anyway. The RDA is, and it's still going to go forward anyway and come back. Your point is well taken, and we can vote on this up or down. RDA is still going to do it. So I just want everybody to understand that, because the direction will be, the city will not direct them to request, but the RDA can, and I believe Joe Moore has made that statement that he's going to pursue it from an RDA.
Right. All right, Alderman Weary?
Oh, thanks.
All right. So we'll use the board here. This is a motion to direct, by the city council, to direct staff not to talk to the Tundra Lodge management about an Olympic-sized pool. A yes, you tell them not to talk to them. A no, we'll talk to them and see what happens. Everybody set? No, Alderman Vanderleest. Okay, so that motion, a yes? No, just wait. That motion failed.
Right.
Right, so then, right. So we have I'll entertain a motion now to adopt item 2. All right, Alderman Weary?
Make a motion to receive and place on file.
All right, so we now have a motion by Alderman Weary to receive this item and place it on file. Any discussion there? Okay, Alderman Weary?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't think we should kid ourselves. I think this is really just an effort to kill the Olympic-sized pool at Colburn. And I'm not speaking in anyone particular, but I know you've been no fan of it, and you would do anything you could.
That's not true. Show me where I've said that.
I think you've said it over and over, especially in
Show me once where I've said it. You brought in a lot of articles tonight. Show me once where I've said I'm no fan of Olympic pool. I've said I'm no fan of losing $10 million.
I've said at Colburn. You said you're a fan of an Olympic pool, not at Colburn.
If that can
Thank you.
generate the same profit as
I don't think we're
Tundra
in court here.
Lodge,
I'm not questioning you. So
I'm not in favor of losing $10 million.
I want to debate you. If you do, you can sit down, step down. I mean, you can see how testy that you get.
I'm not testy. Just telling the truth.
Yeah, I really think this is just another effort to try and resurrect it again. I always tell people we need a ride out at Bay Beach called the Colburn Pool. It goes round and round and up and down, high emotion, low emotion, and people are pretty tired of it. Very tired of it, Mr. Mayor. So, thank you.
Alderman Scannell?
Thank you, Your Honor. I can't disagree more. I made the argument when this came up last time, and it didn't. When I tried to hold the bids, and this is why I wanted to hold the bids. I think it's responsible a thing for this council to do to get all the information possible and make the best decision possible. I don't think getting information about another business wanting to build an Olympic-sized pool necessarily even sinks the Olympic-sized pool at Colburn necessarily. I I don't think, if someone comes forward and is making a proposition to the city, I thought we should have heard it and then made a decision accordingly, whatever that decision would have been. And I think we got all the decisions available to us. I don't think this is necessarily would change what we're going to do at Cobra, especially when we'll see what happens when the bids come in. So that my only wish is that I think maybe this would have came up after we got the bids in, but here we are. So I do support just having this go to the RDA, just going along until we will take action on it when we can take action on it, if there's anything to take action on. There may not be anything to take action on. And also, I don't think we have the authority to really receive and place on file. I don't know what that, if it means anything. RDA is still going to go forward, so I don't see any point in it. So I favor we just go forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Dave Nenning.
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't have a problem with our staff reaching out to any developer to discuss their interest in developing anything in the city of Green Bay. However, in this case, when I met with the owner of Tundra, along with others, the individual, Mr. Bays, made it very clear that he did not want to be involved in a political debate. He simply wanted to know if the city was going to build an Olympic-sized pool at Colburn or not. And if we were not, if we had an interest in working with him to bring such a development to Tundra. Now, I don't think we can give him an answer to that question yet. The council made a decision to authorize the engineering work to proceed with the pool as we've been discussing it as an Olympic-sized pool. The engineering work is being completed as we speak, and when it is complete, it will be bid out, and we'll have a chance to take a look at that and see if it has the support of this council or not. So, you know, although I don't have a problem with the staff reaching out and talking with any developer about potential interest in doing something in Green Bay, I do think in terms of drafting a development agreement, you know, it is premature. We can't give him the answer that he wanted about what we're going to do at Colburn at this point. I agree the council is committed to building a pool at Colburn, but I do not agree that, you know, it'll be built as an Olympic competitive pool at any cost. I don't know how we can say that it will be. So I guess, all things considered, I'm going to support Alderman Weary's motion to place it on file at this point. I can see it coming back at a future point when we're able to give Mr. Bays the answer that he was asking of us.
All right, thank you. And Alderman Moore, I'll do one more time.
Thanks, Your Honor. Just to address something very quickly here is that you don't owe me anything, and I don't owe you anything. And so for this to be my motion, for me to argue for this at RDA, for me to bring it on the floor here, make statements about it, and defend my position, and then to have somebody call me a liar by saying you're behind it, backhandedly, is unfair and completely untrue. This is my thing. I am very development-oriented. I have been since the day I got on this council, and I'm looking to maximize the project. That is it. If we end up with 2 Olympic pools, it doesn't hurt the city whatsoever. Our money is invested. We have that money there. That money is already earmarked, dedicated, and going toward a pool, maybe Olympic size, competitive at Colburn Park. That money's there. But if we can maximize a project and gain more tax base on a different project, even if it competes with us, the city's not going to be harmed by Tundra Lodge building. Maybe we'll have 2 Olympic pools, but you know what? There's a real chance we'll end up with 0. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Alderman Nenny, do you have anything else you want to add? All right. So the motion on the floor is regarding item 2 is to receive and place on file, and use the board on that. Please. Sorry. that passes by a vote of 6-4. All right, so that motion passes. And clerk, we will continue.
Report of the Traffic Commission.
Right, there's a motion by Alderman Tom Duane, second by Alderman Randy Scannell to approve the report of the Traffic Commission. That was for the meeting held on May 16th. Are there any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Seeing no lights, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it, and that report's been approved.
Report of the Finance Committee.
There's a motion by Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderman Bill Galvin, to approve the report of the Finance Committee for the meeting held on Tuesday, June 14th. Are there any items in this report you wish to handle separately?
Number 3.
Okay, so we have items 3, 4, 5, and 6 that have been pulled. Hearing none others, all in favor of the remainder of that report, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. All items have been approved with the exception of 3, 4, 5, and 6. What are your wishes regarding item 3?
Move to approve.
The motion by Alderman Tom Duane, second by Alderman Randy Scannell. Who pulled that item?
I did, Your Honor.
All right, Alderman Tom Duane.
Thank you, Your Honor. I completely approve this. I had talked to Alderman Slotnick. He brought me up to date what was going on, and I had talked to Dawn Fuller. And what I'm wondering is if this is something that these lead services won't be done for some time, that coming up, we're all going to bring our subjective items that we'd like to see done with this money if we can put it on there. I mean, is this something that we need to hear from them first, a presentation? Or is that just something that if we want to as an individual
Think
and
if we
bring
want
forward?
to. Yeah, I don't know the guys.
Because I seriously, I look at this and that, you know, if it's going to take a long time, that one, I don't think that would cost city money. I was just wondering if that's something that.
Yeah, I think what's on there, if you
Yeah,
finish
he won't
it,
be
he
back
doesn't
till
want anything.
August, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
what are you saying?
I did read it.
Okay.
No, I just was thinking about bringing it forward at our next meeting. I mean, because he's not going to do a presentation until August. And I kind of agree with what he's saying. So I'm just, what's that? Yeah. Well, it's coming back in August, though. Yeah.
Well, what are you going to do? Want to approve it?
I'm good. I
right.
just had questions.
Okay.
I just want to know the procedure.
Do you want to comment on it, Alderman Scannell? Go ahead.
And it's this, but it's also a little bit broader. I don't know if this is appropriate, but I don't understand why one item is brought up at two different committees. This was also brought forward toward protection and welfare, which we'll be voting on a little later. And I would just like to see if, I think it's a waste of time to have one item brought up by two committees. One committee should have heard, not the other. It's a waste of committee time. So I just don't know if we could have staff look into how that happened. If we could not have that happen in the future, I'm just concerned that.
Well, and that's, I want to be clear on that. I think you make a good point. To approve the request to make the presentation, that's silly. He makes the presentation to the committee, and then the committee's work comes before this body. So if it's at two committees,
It's a waste of time.
Right.
It's not necessary.
It doesn't belong to protection and welfare anymore.
okay.
Well, but it came to us. I mean, whatever. I'm just saying, if we could in the future.
All right.
That's my and also, well, we voted unanimously against it, so I'll just leave it at that. My feelings on it.
All right, so you're okay with this then?
Yeah.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve item 3. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. What are your wishes regarding item 4? Motion to approve. All right, there's a motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Mark Stoyer. This is item 4. All right, Alderperson Dorff.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to know what the intent is of the committee when they say to receive and place on file. What were the list of criteria? Is there a plan to bring this up after the projects are chosen, and then to look at the rubric? I'm curious as to what the rubric was.
I'm going to call on the chairman of the committee
Okay.
to comment on that. Alderman Moore?
Thanks, Your Honor. We had directed staff to accept the report as this was presented. But to take it off of the committee, we were advised that receive and place on file, and then to just utilize the matrix was the best way to handle it. So I'm fine either way. I'd like to use the matrix. I think it's good. I think that a lot of work was put into it. This shouldn't just be done away with. I think that it's something that we need to use as a staff and as a committee as we're making our
Well,
determinations.
then let's amend this. I mean, I don't know why they would have written receive and place on file. Why didn't you say to utilize the work by Alderman Galvin? Are we changing this too much? Does he have a list done?
That was the question, was how all the work was already done. See, I thought we would get to committee and we would direct staff to develop a matrix, but we got there and staff had already done it. So they did all the work ahead of time. So then it was just a matter of whether or not we accepted what they had done or not, but to dispose of the agenda item, it was a receive and place on file motion.
You kind of threw out the baby with the bathwater on this one.
Right.
So we got to amend this because why don't we want to retain his list?
Well, we'll have a list at the next meeting.
This is the this is the matrix and the breakdown, but yep.
It says to receive and place on file that request. So if Alderman Galvin drew that up, wouldn't a proper motion be to present the matrix at the next meeting or refer the matrix to staff, or I don't know, to formalize it and bring it back to finance? I mean, if he's got the work done, to receive and place on file means it goes in a drawer.
Right, and receiving and place on file was the request because the request had already been handled. So the motion to receive and place on file.
Where was it handled?
It was taken care of before the meeting even started. Before staff was directed to develop a matrix, the matrix was developed.
By Alderman Galvin?
Alderman Galvin worked with staff and
Can I
put
hear
this
from
together and
Alderman
presented
Galvin?
it at the meeting. It was presented at the meeting, but it wasn't actually an agenda item to have it presented at the meeting.
Okay, I think we got to be careful here because I think we're losing something in the process.
If we change this motion to receive and place on file the request to compile a list of criteria and to accept the matrix that was presented, is that too much?
I don't think you even need that first part, but yeah, I mean, we're saying, I want to utilize your matrix. I think you worked on something that I have that is not shared. Can I talk to Alderman Galvin
This is the
for
same
just
discussion we had at finance, so we're just trying to determine the best way to handle it.
Alderman Galvin, you want to comment on your feelings regarding this matrix you put together?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Don Fuller and Dr. Vonk and I worked on this. Dawn then, with all her suggestions, put together this basic matrix and applied the suggestions that people had submitted at the open forums to it. My only concern is, and that's why I don't think it's necessarily a finished project, is because we don't have all the information. I think some people looking at this matrix would say that they'd like to add some more information to fill it out so that we have all the information. Some presentations were made at finance that I saw that appeared to have much more information, I think, that would, that fit within the matrix and gave all the information we're going to need. And that's why, again, I'm feeling my way through this. It's my second month on the job.
Yep.
But I would like to see us have a process in place where we set a deadline for submittals for the money, and that those submittals, those people take a look at this matrix, try and give the information necessary so that we have all the necessary information, and then we set a date to make a decision on what to do with these monies. So it's over, it's done with, and people that have been requesting monies know that there's some deadline, a light at the end of the tunnel that they can reach at some point here.
So how about we amend this to continue the process by Alderman Galvin to compile a list of criteria for reviewing proposals to determine best use of the stadium tax for presentation to the Finance Committee at the next meeting?
Why don't we just send it back, Mayor?
Because it doesn't say anything. It just says we're sending back a receive and place on file. If we amend it to continue the process, that means he's going to add these other 2 or 3 things he's thinking about, and then the Finance Committee can look at it and it'll be complete.
Your Honor, point of order, we can amend it there.
Back, it'll be right there.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. I'm just trying to help.
Yeah, we can refer it and just take care of it at committee.
That's what I would, and just bring back the list again.
Okay.
Refer it back.
Pretty simple.
All right, I'm going to go back to who had the floor. Alderman Moore, I think you had the floor.
I'm going to give it up. Thank you.
All right, Alderman Scannell.
Okay, I just want to understand, it's my understanding that it's not so much the matrix that we need to work on as we need to get the people who put forward these ideas to come in and fill out the matrix more fully. So it's not that we need to tweak the matrix at all. It needs that we need to let people know we now have a matrix. If you want a project done, you need to come in and fill out the matrix, if I understand correctly.
I'm not trying to complicate the process too much here, but from the meetings I was told, I think there were 3 of them, there were 28 suggestions. Since then, there's been more requests, and I've received a couple myself from individuals. I hear there's another one from a place that just opened up on Adams Street. So I think we need to set a date for people to submit these suggestions by, and submit a date that we apply the matrix to all those suggestions, and then we set a date to make our decisions by, so that there's some kind of order to this. Right now, it's been, every meeting almost, there's been people throwing out suggestions on how to spend this money, and then it just floats around there. The only thing we've acted on is retiring that debt. I think we need to have a process in place that makes sense so that everyone in the city understands that we're making a deliberative thought process here on how to deal with this excess sales tax.
All right, so item 4 is to receive and place on file the request by Alderman Galvin. You want to amend this, or do you want to refer it back?
I'd like to refer it back.
All right. All right, so there's a motion and a second to refer this item back. Alderman Weir, did you want to speak on this?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm in favor of referring it back, and I think Alderman Galvin will probably agree. A lot of us probably haven't even seen The Matrix. I mean, well, I've seen the movie, but I haven't seen the Matrix. It sounds like it's similar, though. I can't approve a process I haven't studied yet. So I don't want to sign on to some matrix that I really haven't studied. This should be our document, and I think Alderman Galvin agreed. It's not just his document; it's all of ours. So I hope this gets sent back, and then we can digest it as a committee and then a council on what we think the parameters should be, not just some individuals. So I'm fine with sending it back.
All right, so there's a motion and a second to refer this item back. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. What are your wishes regarding item 5? I need a motion to approve by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Moore. Was that you, Alderman Dorff?
People, I think that said 5. I guess we both did. I am confused on 5C. Is it only the committee members that are going to be able to propose their individual allocations? Is it any member of council? What's really meant by 5C?
I'll go to the chairman. Alderman Moore.
Thanks, Your Honor. Yes, the intent was that the 4 people that are sitting on the committee would bring their proposals, have them submitted to City Hall by the Friday before so that they could be a public agenda, and to step down and make the presentations on this money and try to work it out then at committee to have that money spent, basically. Completely open to opening this up to any alderman that wants their proposals discussed to have it in by the Friday before the meeting. And I think that would be the best way to handle it and take a look at it, but I would also suggest then that they are there to present their reasoning why and not just to send something to us and then have us sit there wondering what's going on. Very similar to like a joint finance and personnel before the budget. We've all got our edits that we'd like to make, and it would be nice to have us all there to do that. Thank you.
So he has invited you to bring any ideas to that committee meeting, although everything will end up back to the council.
Coming back to council.
Regardless.
Okay.
Talk to her. Okay. Alderman Weary?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate Alder Dorff bringing this up. It was similar to my question about each committee member. I think I probably have the longest running request, 7 or 8 months, for Colburn on there, and I would hope that I think our president and vice president both sit on that committee, and I'm pretty sure it'll be on the list. But for the $1 million to be set aside for Colburn, and whether it's used or not, it can go back in for something else. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be on that list. So I don't need anything else, but I appreciate you clarifying.
All right. Alderman Scannell.
I'm not sure why. I'm a little confused what we're all doing. It seems like we're doing too many things here. It seems we have a matrix that we're going to put all the proposals through, which I believe grades them, do I understand that correctly? Or what?
What it does is it covers areas.
How's it?
Yeah. Yep, go ahead, Captain.
All right, it covers areas like ability for the city to leverage city's excess sales tax for additional community dollars. So are there other funding sources out there to match? The excess sales tax should have a direct tax levy impact on the project. Does it do that or not? Opportunities brought forward should have business plans attached to the request. Among other criteria, the project could follow the but-for test. So if the city doesn't give money, would this project fail? The project has exhausted all other sources of funds, including federal, state, and grant funds. Project would not require additional costs from the city after it's completed, or is there going to be maintenance the city's going to have to provide ongoing? Does the project offer a direct property tax benefit, or does it add it to the city? So those are some of the things we were looking at to see if we could compare these projects to each other.
But now it sounds like it's just the finance committee and anybody who shows up, and if you can't make it, nuts, is going to do their own thing without the matrix. It seems like we have the matrix going and we have everybody doing their own proposal. It seems like we're at odds here. And I would like to see that if we could bring some order where we put all our proposals through the matrix, then all that is distributed to every member, and we could then narrow it down ourselves, that we could then submit to finance that could maybe narrow it down, or I'm not even sure. It seems like we're doing two different things, and also we're not being efficient in that. If the committee, if I don't make it to finance, does that mean I can't at the time of council bring forward what I think is right? And if that's true, then why even go through the committee at all? We should all be doing that at the same time. It seems like we're doing cross purposes and we're not using our time efficiently, it seems to me. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
If I could just comment on that, I called. I ended up calling Slottick after this because I was like, what is this? And it doesn't seem all encompassing. And as much as, look, with all due respect to everybody, including myself, a lot of times some of these decisions come down to be political. I mean, sometimes the financial thing isn't always done. What's that? You have anything to say about that? I thought I heard you say something.
I did. I mentioned my mother's maiden name.
All right. So I just want to say that I think there's an opportunity. That I think the matrix makes some sense, but I don't think a decision has been made to funnel everything through one system. I'm just not sure that we're there yet. I don't know that Slottick said, look, the committee members are going to make these recommendations. I'm like, well, there's 8 other people that one might weigh in on this. Well, they're invited to the meeting. I'm just not sure this is all going to happen in one night. I think we may find a project that 7 of you agree on, and I think we'll approve it like we did with the bonding. So I don't think there's a great system in place. It's a way to get it started.
Your Honor, I got a point of order. It's very simple. It's just like our Joint Finance Committee. We've been lucky to get everybody there every year, so there's very little we have to do after. But as everybody here knows, no matter what we decide and bring back as a committee, this council is going to bring forward something else and try to amend this and amend that. It's going to happen. Right. So we don't have to worry about that. It's a process that we followed. It's a process that they decided at that time was best. Committee's going to bring something forward, and you know darn well when it all comes down to the end, if someone wants to add something, they're going to try to add that project. You got to have the reason, like they said, financially what that's going to do for the city, or how it's going to reduce debt and such. But I think the process. Let's get it done. We'll bring something forward, and like they said, if you can't make it, call one of us and or write something up and we'll present it. And when we bring it back, there'll be discussion, and then at that time, we'll probably send it back again.
Yeah, I just wanted, this started with Alderperson Dorf with 5C, and it was, do you understand what they're saying now? I don't know whether you agree or not, but
I don't agree, but I understand what they're saying.
well, go ahead.
I would just like to say that I think we could bring order to this process by putting all proposals through the matrix. We'd all have that information then, and then I guess I don't care how, if it goes to finance, and we all show up at finance or whatever, but I think it makes more sense, and we'll have more information on each proposal if it's run through the matrix. That seems orderly to me, and then we got all the information to start making decisions. So if we could make a time frame for applicants to bring the proposals and fill out that matrix, and then after that, funnel it through finance, and we could all show up there if we're all giving those matrices to beforehand to analyze and think and show up at finance and all have that discussion then. That would.
That's why it's referred back, then we'll discuss it.
Well, would it be appropriate to make a motion to go forward with to have people with the because if it goes back to finance, then. Yeah, can you? Thank you.
Okay, and then Alderman Nenning. I want to let me get Alderman Nenning, and then we will bring in the fix-it man.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. I was very happy with the matrix that was developed. I think there was a lot of thought put into that, and it does establish something we probably should have done months ago, which is to have an orderly process for making for accumulating the information to start with on an equal basis, and then making some decision. Now, what happened here was that at the Finance Committee there were 4 specific proposals that were talked about, and people were there to make presentations, so they were given the opportunity to make presentations. On 2 of them, the Wildlife Sanctuary in Bay Beach, there were specific questions that members of the committee had, so those were sent to staff to come back with more information on those. In regard to B and C, they really are a bit premature at this point because let's get the information gathered on a fair basis in the matrix, and then do some type of ranking of proposals. So I don't know. I guess we referred back the issue. And number 4, I'm going to make a motion to refer back 5 as well. To be discussed in the context of the whole.
I think it is too. Okay, yeah, the motion on the floor is to refer 5, A, B, and C, although the C was the one that was specifically pulled. Alderman Moore?
Sure, Your Honor. Since number 4 is going back so that we could fix the glitch in the matrix, then item 5C could just be denied. We could just, we don't need to refer it. We can just deny that one, and once we have the matrix fixed the way we like it at committee and it gets approved by council, then we can have a separate communication at that time that each council member submits their proposal by a certain date to the Finance Committee. They run it through the matrix and present it to Finance. So we date this out a couple of months, but we kill it right now, and we'll just take it one step at a time. First we fix the matrix, then we put in our proposals, then we run them through the matrix, and we make our decisions.
So the matrix thing we've resolved, that's going back.
Yes.
So your motion right now is to deny 5C.
I know it doesn't overrule a referral, but if that referral wants to get pulled, then I think we can just deny it and take it off the agenda.
Who referred? Dave.
I made a motion to refer.
Right. He wants to, and he wants to make a motion. Will you? Do you want to vote on the referral, or else he's going to just, if you rescind your motion to refer, he's going to make a motion to deny item 5C, which puts the date on this. And
well,
do it at committee too.
Well, I don't have a problem with approving 5A. 5B, I think, could be referred back, and 5C just denied.
I think that's what he said.
Is that good? So the committee wanted information in 5A. I don't have any problem in requesting that information and bringing it back. 5B is premature until we get the matrix completed by all the applicants, and 5C we can just deny. So I guess that's my motion.
Your Honor, I'd like to take number 5, A, B, and C separately. Let's vote each one.
Fine.
Let's get
Okay.
That's fine. So,
Okay.
that's fine. So, there's a motion and a second to refer item 5A back. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. That's referred back. There's a motion and a second to refer back item 5B. And there's a motion by Alderman Tom DeWine, second by Alderman Scannell. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nays. There is a motion by Alderman Nenning and second by Alderman Moore to deny 5C. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and that item has been denied. Okay, we're on to item 6. What are your wishes here? There's a motion to approve by Alderman Joe Moore, seconded by Alderman Tom DeWine. I didn't write down who pulled that. Alderman Weary?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My question would be for either Chief Smith or our purchasing manager or the chairman. That doesn't matter, I guess. Did we resolve kind of the issues that came up from our humane officer with the hidden costs? I didn't see it in the minutes. So
I think I'll go. Chief, do you want to comment on that, and then I'll go to Rick?
Sure. We've had several discussions with them. We're still working out some of the final details about it, but I'm confident that we can move forward and work well with the Humane Society on this contract. I don't think the issues that are going to be brought up are going to end up being significant.
From who? Rick, can you stand up?
Sure. What Chief Smith said is correct. We have confirmation from the Humane Society that the points that the Humane Officer wanted to add to the contract have been agreed to and will be included in the final.
All right, thank you, Rick.
thank you.
Anything
That
else?
was much appreciated clarification, and let's move ahead. Thanks.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve item 6. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and item 6 has been approved.
Just point of order.
Yep.
1 and 12, I want to be recorded as abstaining, please.
All right, we'll do. Thank you.
Report of the Improvement and Service Committee.
What are your wishes regarding this report? All right, there's a motion by Alderman Nicholson, seconded by Alderperson Dorff, to approve the report of the Improvement and Service Committee. That was for the meeting held on June 8th. Are there any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Number 8. Okay, and hearing none others, all in favor of the remainder of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. All items on that report have been approved with the exception of item 8. What are your wishes regarding item 8? So motion to approve by Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderman Dave Nenning. Is that Alderman Nicholson?
Thank you, Mayor. I got a question for Steve Grenier, our Director.
All right. Go ahead.
Steve, can we hold up one? I'm requesting to hold up one address for that mini sewer program.
Is it one that was in the program that was approved?
I believe so.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. How would I?
Just communicate to me tomorrow with the
Tomorrow?
address you wish.
Okay.
We're currently out for bid. The project hasn't been bid yet. We needed the program approved before we could complete that bid.
Okay. So is it coming back then? Are these
The
bids
award
gonna
of bids
come
would
back?
have to be reported out, yes.
Okay. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. So there's a motion and a second to approve item 8. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it.
Report of the Personnel Committee.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderman Bill Galvin, to approve the report of the Personnel Committee. That was for the meeting held on Tuesday, June 14th. Any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Hearing none, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. And I think it's proper to thank you guys, Ben, your brother, Chief, all of you for putting together this contract. Kenton Galvin, I know you're a big part of this as well. So that's great. We have a police contract for the next 4 years. Yeah, that's awesome. And thanks for all your work on that. All right, Clerk.
Report of the Protection and Welfare Committee.
There's a motion to approve by Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderperson Barb Dorf, to approve the report of the Protection and Welfare Committee, and that was for the meeting held on Monday, June 6th. Are there any items in this report you wish to handle separately?
14.
Number 14. Okay, hearing none others, all in favor of the remainder of that report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. All items in that report have been approved with the exception of item 14. And what are your wishes regarding item 14?
The young man who is appealing this. We told him that if he wished to appeal this at council, he'd be advised to bring forth documentation that he did not have at the time, and I believe he's here with that, so I'd like to make a motion to open the floor and hear from him.
All right, so we have a motion by Alderman Scannell, seconded by Alderman Tom DeWayne, to open the floor to hear from interested parties. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. The City Council is discussing the report of the Protection and Welfare Committee, specifically item 14. Item 14 is to deny the appeal by Caleb Wiegert on his operation license application. Is there anyone here who would like to speak to that? All right, and if you want to state your name and your address and make a comment or two.
My name is Caleb Wiegert. I live at 1621 Windsor Drive. It's Bellevue, 54302. Last time I spoke with you guys, you denied my liquor license because I have a felony charge in the city of Green Bay. So it's an automatic that you have to do it. They had a lot of concerns last time, like being that I hadn't had enough time to reflect, I guess, on my mistakes. Well, I mean, yes, I think that's, I don't mean to be rude, but I think that's why they put you in jail and like give you the time that you have to sit to reflect and learn. So now that I'm done with that, I'm ready to be on my feet. Not only has Bellevue, which is Brown County, already issued me a liquor license for another store within the company. I also have a letter from a manager from another store in Menasha on nothing but good things. A letter of recommendation. I'm here with my manager also right now, ready to speak on my behalf, say nothing but good things. Like, honestly don't see why another city in Brown County is denying me this still when I have one for Bellevue.
All right. You're being very presumptive of your manager. He's going to say all good things. Must be a hell of an employee.
I don't understand. Like,
Don't argue with us. Just don't argue with us. We're the ones who can give you the license, okay? Alderman DeWayne.
Yeah. When was the last time you applied? A year ago? I mean, it usually takes a year before you can apply again.
I've only denied it before. You denied it at the last meeting we had with just
committee.
Oh, just the committee.
Yeah, just the committee meeting. No, not like an official meeting. No.
Okay. When was your felony? What year?
2012.
Okay, so it's kind of recent. You say you did time. I'm not going to get into specifics, but what kind of treatment did you go through?
I went through. I didn't go through any treatments. No, I did go through therapy on my own. Not even pertaining to that at all. Just growing up, I felt like I need someone to talk to clear my head. It was helpful. I felt. And
how long did you go to therapy? If I may ask?
As a kid, I went for a few years, and then as an adult, I went for about a half a year to a year.
That was after you were released?
Yep.
You were released when?
I did two different, stays in jail for my felony charge. One was 2012 or 13 for 2 months, and then the other was in 2015 for a total of 6 months, I believe. I did a total of 9 months
Were it two
altogether.
different incidents that you did?
No, they were all pertaining to the same incident. I just, instead of completing probation, I got revoked or revocated, you would say, and finished my time in Huber, where I was on work release, working the whole time. And then, since then, it's been a year over now that I've been released. I've been working for this company for 2 months or more. Before that, I was working through another job that I got in jail until I got this job.
When I ask where the job is it a
It's Fox Convenience. It's Cenex on Military.
gas station?
Yep. There's, well, beer. We don't sell, like, hard liquor. Another thing I said last time is, like, as employees there, we have to ID everyone every time, no matter how gray the hair, no matter how many times we've seen them that day. If the camera doesn't see us IDing and if we don't put in a number, we're fired. Or we're suspended for 3 days and then we're fired. There's, like, no joking around about that. I mean, she's here to talk about that, too. 2.5 months, maybe more. Since March.
And you say you have another job somewhere else?
No, I actually help out at the store in Bellevue. That's why I got this liquor license for Bellevue, because they need me to help out there sometimes.
So there's times you're going to be alone, is what you're saying?
Yes, there are times I will be alone.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Any other questions for this gentleman? All right, thanks for being here.
Mhm.
You want to hear? Oh, you do. Yeah.
I did vote to approve his license. I was in the minority on that. I think that Caleb, you presented a much better case at the Protection and Welfare. And I think you need to not assume that everyone here knows all of the things that you told us on Protection and Welfare. So I wonder if you could be a little bit more forthcoming about your current life circumstances, about what exactly was your felony, and how at the time it had nothing to do with alcohol. I think some of these details might help the City Council make a better decision. So I'd like to ask you to be a little bit more forthcoming and talk to us a little bit more about your life circumstances and what the felony involved.
All right, thank you for another opportunity to speak. I was a little bit nervous, I'm not going to lie. It's a big thing for me. My girlfriend with me, who is pregnant with a baby girl that is due in October, I actually just moved into my first apartment ever, and that was on the 6th. The day of the meeting, which I was really excited for, to, tell everyone that, like, I am doing very good for myself. I haven't, been in any incidences with the police that were nothing. Oh, I have been, but it was just them calling them, hey, someone ran into my pump at work. Like, nothing bad. Like, I've been nothing but on the, like, good side of the city. Being that, like, I don't know, I've been a successful, like, person lately. I've been doing so good. I have a kid on the way. I have a house. I have not been in trouble. I don't know. I'm, like, doing really good at my job. There's any more specifics? Oh yeah, about my crime, my felony. You want to know about that? In 2012, I broke someone's nose. It was a mistake that I wouldn't have to live with for the rest of my life. It's not every day someone breaks their nose or someone breaks someone's nose. Well, maybe, but not people I know. That's a bad thing. That's something that I had to live with and think about every day. And I honestly still feel bad for that today. Like, I think about telling that person I'm sorry, like, hey, no offense, but, like, I just want to let you know, like, I'm really sorry for doing that so many years ago. I know you're over it, but it's, like, it's a definite mistake. And I'm not, like, a bad person. It's not like I don't think about it. It's not that I'm, like, afraid to, like, be open about it. It's just, it's, like, the worst thing I've ever done in my life, and it's probably the worst thing I'll ever do in my life. And it has nothing to do with alcohol. Sorry, I don't drink. It's not like my thing to drink. I don't know why. Maybe because my dad's an alcoholic, but I don't know. It's just not my thing to drink. And me, like, selling alcohol to someone, or saying I can't sell alcohol to someone due to the fact that I broke someone's nose when I wasn't drinking or of age to drink, or I've never had a drug charge, never been in trouble for drinking, no one's ever seen me drunk, like, I'm sorry.
You read the letter that you brought.
Yes. I want to read it word for word just so you guys don't get confused or anything. It says, "To whom it may concern, my name is Joshua Cross." That's the manager of the store in Menasha. Oh, well, it says, "I have been employed by Van Zeeland Oil Company since 2004 and have managed several locations. During my extended time as a manager, I have had the opportunity to work with several different people. A few of those people stand out as exceptional employees with character and dedication any company would benefit from. Caleb is one of those people. I do not know Caleb of 2012. I do not know Caleb of 2012, the one who made poor choices. However, I know the man Caleb is today. He has paid his debt to society and, in my professional opinion, has grown into a hardworking and dedicated member of society. He puts his responsibilities first and always willing to go above and beyond to help out coworkers and customers. He has diligently followed company policies, EI, WEID, everyone, every time they buy alcohol. This is set in stone policy, and in the 2 months that Caleb has worked for our company, he has maintained the highest standards. I look forward to watching him grow in his position and excel. He has the opportunity for manager trainee program, and I feel he would represent exactly what we are looking for in an employee and a leader. When I work side by side with Caleb, I see a young man who is looking ahead in life, setting goals, working hard to achieve those goals. While I cannot sway your vote, I do wish to express my opinion and appreciate the time you take to read and consider it. It is a privilege working with Caleb, and I see a bright future ahead for him. Regretfully, I was unable to attend this meeting in person due to prior commitments, and I'm willing to discuss with you on the phone or even via conference call if so desired. Please feel free to contact me anytime. Joshua Cross, manager.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Alderman Vanderleest, is your light on for this? I'm sorry. Any questions for this gentleman?
Are you on probation right now, sir?
No, I haven't been on probation since 2015 or longer.
Right. Okay. Alderman Moore?
No, Your Honor, my light should be on.
Okay. I think you just got to turn your light off. All right. I don't have any questions. That was a nice letter.
Move to return to regular.
Does anyone else want to speak to this item? Does the manager want to come up, or I mean, it's up to you. All right. Thank you. Anybody else? All right, John. Thank you. Entertain a motion. All right. There's motion second to return to regular order. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. We're back in regular order. Alderman Scannell, you have the floor. This is regarding the denial of the appeal.
Yes. As I spoke, and I think this has been brought up in other cases at council. The law is clear that, if you have a felony, you cannot be given a license. But the law is written where it gives us a little wiggle room, as it does state, as it pertains to the license, the felony as it pertains to the license. In past practice, we've usually used a time frame that if one was younger and now one is 10 years down the road, that felony is no longer pertaining to the license. This is a short time frame, and with the lack of his documentation at the time, I voted to deny him. But I still wish we had a little more time here to exhibit more appropriate behavior. But I feel with the responsibilities, the jobs he's taking on are responsible jobs, and his employers support him, and he's got the liquor license from Bellevue, which helps. Though, just because maybe they made a mistake, we don't have to do that. I mean, but it does, I think, add some weight that I feel comfortable now approving his appeal. Thank you.
All right, so then you want to make a motion to amend item 14 to approve?
Approve, yes.
All right, so there's a motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Dorf, to amend item 14 from denied to approve. Alderman Galvin.
Thank you, Your Honor. The reason why I voted to deny is the fact that he wasn't under the influence of alcohol or anything else actually makes me think that he was more in control of himself at this time. He didn't have the crutch of saying I was intoxicated or under the influence of drugs when I assaulted this person. He committed a substantial battery. He was sentenced, and all we have is his word for actually what happened. We don't have the police reports here. We don't have anything from the district attorney. While he's on probation, he obstructs an officer. He misled him. He lied to him. Again, we don't know exactly what, except all we can go by is what he was convicted of, which is obstructing an officer. After that, he then had his probation. He violated his probation, and he was sentenced to a year in jail. He just got out this past year. I think there's just, I appreciate the fact that he's paid his debt to society. I appreciate the fact that he has got a relationship where he has a child that he has to think about, and that it looks like he's moving his life forward. But all these violations were done not under the influence, but with the full knowledge that he had of what he was doing. And he had that choice, do it or don't do it. And I think the time frame from his last violation to now has just been too short for us to take that kind of a risk.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Well, I'm going to use the board on this one. The motion on the floor is to approve the appeal. So a yes approves the appeal, a no denies it. Okay, so this was approved, the amendment was approved by a vote of 5-4. I'll now need a motion to approve this as amended, because we made... All right, there's a motion by Alderman Weary, second by Alderman Tom DeWayne, to approve this as amended. It's going to take a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. All right, we use the board on this. This is to approve the license for this young man. And that passes 5-4. Okay, clerk.
Report of the special meeting of the Protection and Welfare Committee held June 16, 2016.
All right, there's a motion to approve Alderman Galvin. Second by Alderman Tom DeWayne. Any discussion here? All right, all in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay.
Report of the Protection and Welfare Committee granting operator licenses.
Okay, there's a motion by Alderman Tom DeWayne, second by Alderman Alderman Galvin, to approve the report of the Protection and Welfare Committee. Now, this is page 11. This is the list of all the names. Are there any names you wish to abstain from or pull separately from this item?
Alderman Nicholson.
Okay. I'm going to clear this board.
I got it.
Okay, seeing no other lights, all in favor of this report, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. Okay.
Receive and place on file building permit report for me.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. You're right, I did say that, and it's written right down here. Mayor, note. I need to suspend the rules. I'm going to take a motion to suspend the rules, and the reason why I'm doing that is I need to grant the Protection and Welfare Committee authority to approve a outdoor event because we're not going to meet. They didn't get their application in soon enough. So we did talk about that. So motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Tom Dwayne to suspend the rules for that purpose. All in favor of suspension, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. And then a motion to grant the Protection and Welfare Committee full authority regarding the, what is it, the lift, what is it?
Loading dock.
The loading dock on Webster. All right, so we have a motion, a second, to give the P&W authority to grant that. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. All right, building permits.
Receive and place on file building permit report for May 2016 and municipal court report for April 2016.
I'll entertain a motion for those two reports. By Alderman Joe Moore, second by Alderman Randy Scannell, to receive and place on file the two reports stated by the clerk. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it.
We're under resolutions. You may, under suspension of the rules, adopt resolutions 15 through 24 and 27 together with one roll call vote.
All right, there's a motion to suspend the rules by Alderman Scannell, seconded by Alderman Barb Dorf. All in favor of suspension, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Now I'll move for adoption by Alderman Joe Moore, second by Alderman Randy Scannell. If you use the board here, again, this is 15 through 24 and 27. Okay, and those pass unanimously. Thank you.
Ordinances first reading. You may, under suspension of the rules, advance ordinances 28 through 32 to a third reading.
Suspend. There's a motion to suspend the rules by Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderman Tom Dwayne. All in favor of suspension, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. We can do this on a voice vote. A motion to advance. By Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderman Joe Moore. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and those ordinances first reading will be advanced to ordinances third reading.
Ordinances third reading. You may, under suspension of the rules, adopt ordinances 33 and 34 together with one roll call vote.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Tom Dwayne, second by Alderman Joe Moore to suspend the rules for that purpose. All in favor of suspension, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion to adopt by Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderman Dave Nenning. You use the board here. This is the third reading, items 33 and 34. Okay. Okay, and those pass unanimously. We got two things to do. You have a late communication, Alderman Moore? Well, we've got to do the committee of a whole. I mean, I'm going to be excusing staff, so if they want to hear it, I don't know. Why don't we just do it now? All right, there's a motion by Alderman Moore, second by Alderman Scannell to suspend the rules to hear a late communication. All in favor of suspension, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nay. All right, Alderman Moore?
Economic Development to work with Tundra Lodge on their leisure pool project, maximize project, increase tax base regardless of inclusion of a competitive events pool.
All right, thank you. So we are on to the committee as a whole, and we need to spend a little time together to review and discuss with possible action the status of a pending litigation in the Oneida 7 Generation Corporation. We have our attorney here, Greg Gunta. Of course, Vanessa has been briefed on this. There's just not a whole lot that we can discuss in public. So I'm going to entertain a motion to go into closed session. I think that would be the proper thing to do. And then I'm going to excuse all the staff except finance and ED. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay. By Alderman Scannell, seconded by Alderman Mark Stoyer. And if you could just state the reason with regard to this item, Alderman Scannell.
With regard to this item, the council may convene in closed session pursuant to section 19.85, subsection 1, subsection G, Wisconsin statutes, for the purpose of conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved. The council may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to Section 19.85, subsection 2, Wisconsin statutes, to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda.
Okay, just use the board to vote. Should take that long. We just got thanks. All right, I'm going to hit the pause button.
Well, I thought we were going to do karaoke after.
You're singing no.
Hey, Randy, just remember, I told it's all your fault if we're not out here early, so just...
Yeah, who won? 9:31. It's 9:45. All right, I'll entertain a motion to return to regular order. A motion by Alderman Tom Dwayne, second by Alderman Randy Scannell. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. We are just going to report that we met with our attorneys and some civic attorney as well to discuss the potential litigation with the United Nations, and I think they're the council. I would like you to speak to that, but ask them to proceed and gather more information.
Motion is to, we ask them to proceed as directed.
Okay. So there's a motion by Alderman Tom Dwayne, second by Alderman Joe Moore to proceed as directed regarding the litigation matter. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Vanderleest. All right, all in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All right. Happy 4th of July. We will see you, Kids Day.
Yep. 9:30.
What's that?
Too bad. No. Have a good night.
Really?
Okay.